Hello, thank you for listening. This near-death experience is from Cleo, and her experience occurred on May 8th of 2003. Open quote. I was 34 weeks pregnant with my second child. Unfortunately, I experienced an undiagnosed placenta abruption with a Cuvier uterus. Therefore, the blood leaking from the abruption went into my uterus rather than out of my body. It was hours before the hospital realized what had happened. By then, I had lost a large portion of blood. They put me under general anesthesia and intubated me. I remember counting backwards and looking at the anesthesiologist. Then, I was in an endless black void. I had the sense of infinity, and I had no body. I was just pure consciousness. Suddenly, there was a knowing that I was dying, and I was okay with it. All attachment to earthly material was just gone. As if to answer my question, a voice said, "All that remains is love." The voice was not a sound. Rather, it was just a kind of knowing. I understood this to mean that when I die, all that I bring back with me is the sum of love I had given and received on earth. Next, I was being sucked backwards through a tunnel. I was suddenly aware of my body. I woke up and tried to pull out my intubation tube. The anesthesiologist put me back under. I was later told they were quite freaked out by me waking up and trying to take the tube out. After burying my stillborn daughter, I became obsessed with getting her back. I literally ached for her in a way only a parent who has experienced loss can understand. We were given the green light to conceive 6 months afterwards. It was Christmas Eve, and I went to church near our hometown. They have a little chapel dedicated to Mary. I went in to pray and said, "Mary, you know what it feels like to lose a child. Please bring my daughter back to me." At this time, I was taken back to the void. It was in the form of a big, dark lake. I was in the lake, and small bubbles of phosphorescent light were swimming about. I found the one that was my daughter and merged with it. I was aware of my body in the chapel, but for those moments I was in a very different place. I confirmed via ultrasound that I was pregnant a month or so later. The following September, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl via C-section. I wish I could say I spent every moment after this experience storing up love and that I changed in some way. It took me 15 years to come to terms with the experience. I told no one. As a logical, down-to-earth person, I just couldn't accept it. But about 2 years ago, I started going through a spiritual awakening. I started asking questions about what happened to me. Since then, I finally caught up with the idea that love is truly the most important currency on earth. End quote. That was so sad with the loss of the child, and then so happy with the child, a new child, and merging with the child. And then so interesting that it took 15 years to come to terms with the experience. But once again, all that remains is love. And all you bring back is love you've given and received. Maybe that makes your light grow brighter. The more love that you bring back. I don't know. There are a couple questions. Question: did the experience include features consistent with your earthly beliefs? Answer: I was never sure there was life beyond the physical body, but I held space for the possibility. I had read about people walking tunnels into light, meeting dead relatives, etc. None of that happened to me. I had even known someone who had been clinically dead for a few minutes and asked her what happened. She said nothing. I was here, gone, and here again. So I had a lot of confusion on the subject. Question: Did you seem to encounter a mystical being or presence or hear an unidentifiable voice? Answer, I wasn't aware of a being, but that quote-unquote voice told me all that remains is love was not mine. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about universal connection or oneness? Answer, uncertain. The awareness was that after death, all that remains is the love that you give and are given. That what passes on and is linked to others' love as a unity experience. Question, during your experience, did you gain special knowledge about your purpose? Answer, yes. At times when people would say there is no life after death, I would think, yeah, there is. I've experienced it. I didn't tell them out loud. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about the meaning of life? Answer, yes. The awareness was the only thing that matters in life is loving everyone as much as possible. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about an afterlife? Answer, yes, the voice very specifically answered my unspoken question about what happens now. Question, during your experience, did you gain information about love? Answer, yes, that's exactly what the awareness was. All that matters at the end of life is the love you generated on earth. Question, what life changes occurred in your life after the experience? Answer, moderate changes. In my life, I don't believe in a God as much as I now believe in a unity consciousness that we dissolve into that is entirely of love. I have become much more aware of the life force, thoughts and feelings of others, and much more at peace. I have changed my life so I can be more authentic and with less interest in things of the world and more interest in living, helping, and healing. I've made deeper connections with people than I ever had before. Question, was the experience difficult to express in words? Answer, yes, the expanse of the void and the lake is hard to explain. The OBE at the chapel was also hard to explain. It was very difficult than normal imagining, which feels like a screen on your mind. This consumed me. I was in the lake, the bubbles all around me. Question, how accurately do you remember the experience as compared to other life experiences? Answer, I remember it very vividly and have everything I've thought about it over the past 15 years. It is like it happened yesterday. Question, do you have any psychic, non-ordinary, or other special gifts after your experience that you did not have before the experience? Answer, uncertain. I'm still looking into that. I would describe it more as synchronicity, since they do not originate from me and are not always for my benefit. Question, are there one or several parts of your experience that are especially meaningful or significant to you? Answer, I got my daughter. I feel that I went to another plane and brought her back to me. Question, did you have any knowledge of the NDEs prior to your experience? Answer, yes. I had a friend who died and told me she remembered nothing and heard some stories about lights and dead people. Question, what do you believe about the reality of your experience? Answer, experience was definitely real. I was consumed by grief over losing my daughter. The experience was on my mind, but getting her back was even more so. Question, is there anything else you would like to add about your experience? Answer, love everyone. It's all that matters in the end. You can't bring money or fame with you, only love. End quote. End questions. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.